I'm super lucky that on Saturdays I get to practice full presence and regulation of my nervous system right here at a ceramic studio where I am right now. I'm out at the picnic table, and I'm going to show you some pieces that just came out of the kiln. It's exciting when you have 20 pieces coming out from one kiln and several from another kiln, and then you get to start using the things. It's really heartening when you can use a thing that you've spent some time on instead of it just being like a digital strategy or a website you've created or a campaign. It's great to have a chance on Saturdays to do something that's really touch focused and takes full concentration right here, right now, no matter how busy the week has been, where my fingers are helping to shape something. Here you can see some of the things that I'm going to show you in detail in a moment. At the end of this video, I'll show you my best piece of all. It's a big casserole dish. There are a couple pieces that I like especially, but so many of them came out pretty well. And this one is one that has seafoam and horses running along it. This one was in a soda kiln that just fired this week. The glare is pretty strong, but maybe you can see some horses running through the seafoam here. I accentuated the designs with iron oxide and cobalt, and then put it into a soda firing, loving the results and how it feels in my hands. So it's going to be good for use throughout the decades for coffee or whatever, for tea. But also it's really therapeutic to have the process of making these things each Saturday and then going home with a bin of thrown mugs that I have and then sit at my dining table and work on the designs and put on the handles and, be listening to an audiobook and have a full reset from the week that's behind me. I went on a walk at Leonard Lake, and I gathered some plants along the way as I walked around the lake that's in the coastal hills of Mendocino. And then I made a roller stamp that I can now use endlessly on mugs so that it picks up the details of the ferns, of the lichen, of the different plants that I pressed. So I made an embossment plate with strawberry leaves and ferns and moss. And now I can press clay into it. Clay picks up all the details so that when you're holding it, you can feel the details of the plants and basically have a massage built into it when you put something hot into it. Here's one that has a witch on one side. She's flying through the night with a cat in front of her, and there's a house with curling smoke down below. An owl flying in, some mountains, and on the daytime side, there's a Pegasus leaping off the hills up into the sky towards the sun with birds flying. This one has a really nice glaze called Acera Azul that made a nice atmospheric effect in the sky. This is one that I carved. I threw it and then carved it and imprinted some designs on it that I had made from a story that I've been telling my kids for about 12 years or more. There's a castle right there. Okay, wait, right there. So this story is set in a coastal town in Norway, up in the Arctic Circle, and you can see some trees, some houses, some horses. There's a whole story behind it that I won't tell you right now. But I love to tell a story on a mug that you can then hold. And other people can create their own stories around the mugs if they get it for themselves from my online store. Here's one that came out really well, but it has a blemish inside that I'll show you in a moment. And so I might just have to keep it, which is great. Okay, so you can see a horse running down these mountains and a sun overhead, a bird flying in the sky, and a horse trotting up a hill. Inside, a piece of the kiln fell into the glaze. I don't know if you can see it, but that means I might just have to keep this mug. I made 6 cups for a good friend, and this is the final piece that I've been waiting to fire in a soda kiln. And it has the hills of Reeves Canyon, the trees, the mountains, moon. And I'm excited to deliver it to him to complete his set. Now there's one that I made that I really emphasized the roughness of the design of the clay by leaving a lot of it unglazed, but it went into a soda kiln, so it got some sheen on it, and it's kind of like chocolate frosting. That's what I think of. And it's a big wide cup, which will be nice for somebody to really hold and cuddle, with warmth coming through the pot into these rough designs that I made by pushing the clay out and never again touching the outside of it until it was dry. In another firing, which was a reduction kiln, there were some pieces that didn't make the soda kiln, so they went into a different firing. And this one I carved and then created some designs on. I love to make a story landscape and then put trees and animals and sun and moon and birds on them. It's a pretty nice size. So pottery is a practice that I do every Saturday, and I've done it since I was about age 14. It's really great to have something that I can keep coming back to. When you have an art, it can take your full focus, so then you're not distracted by all the other things and the worries in life, and it's good for your brain to have that kind of time with just full focus, being right here, right now, with the thing that you're creating. And this is a cup that I spent some time carving. It has a log house that is near and dear to me and my sister and a cousin. It has boulders, bridges, and hills. There's Eagle Peak up there. I always put Eagle Peak in my pieces of Reeves Canyon. Carved the bottom. Put a white glaze inside so it has a kind of two-toned appearance. Here's one that also didn't make it in the soda kiln, but it came out nicely anyway. So it's pretty dark, but it has birds, horses running. I don't know your preferred way of doing something that helps you get really focused in the right here and right now, but I encourage you to do it and make it a priority. If you put it on your calendar, make sure that you really honor it and do it each week so that it's something special that your mind and your body and your spirit can look forward to. As promised, here is my casserole dish. It's the biggest piece of all, and I love that a casserole dish can help tell more of a story because there's more space than a mug. So we have the hills of Mendocino here with tall towering trees, land uplifted, boulders and rocks. There are the boulders, trees growing into the lugs of this casserole dish, a log house there. And the rim is notched with a design. And inside, it's glazed and has a bucking horse imprinted in the center of it. So I really like how it came out with an atmospheric effect. So I can cook some casseroles for my family with it instead of just serving coffee and hot chocolate in mugs. Of course, not everything turns out well the first time, and I'm going to need a second chance firing with some of these pots that need to go to Colorado with me this summer to get into another soda firing to put a really nice sheen on these so that the stories can stand out and not feel rough. Now I've just spent a couple of hours carving cups and then putting handles on them, making them into mugs. It feels so good to have had focused time, just carving like nothing else matters, and putting on handles that will feel good in one's hands. And with just these tools, 2 stamps that I made, some carving with this, and that's it. If you're interested in seeing my finished pieces, there's a link in the description and here. I invite you to watch the next video on why it's important to regulate your nervous system and some ideas for how you can do it. Plus, you'll see the inspiration that I get from horses. Talk later.